Down and out and I've been fine. This is where I draw the line. Darling, darling, come back quick. I need a pound to flesh my face. Skin is linen, tongue's been tied. This is where I run and hide. Well, darling, darling, let me know. Should I stay or should I go? What's your tale? Who's your weakness? What's your tale? How hard you fall? Is it worth getting up at all? Down and out and I've been lost. I don't know what's the cost. Darling, darling, let me go. Like the river slowing low. Your tale. Who's your weakness? What's your tale? How hard you fall? Was it worth getting up at all? Tell me. hear you crying from 3 floors up. And it's a day and sit back with your cheeks all flushed. Too far gone, what the world does. Thinking back, what the windows touch. Ooh. You're lying through your teeth bones. Risk it all for no reward. I hear you stumbling round the same old house, the same old shots you can't afford. Woe is you, and woe is I. Take me back, who am I? Well, I ain't a time machine. Take a ride, lost of me. So die and sit back with your cheeks all flushed. So die and sit back with your cheeks all flushed. So die and sit back with your cheeks all flushed. So die and sit back with your cheeks all flushed.
Hey everyone!
Hello.
All right. Thanks everyone for signing on tonight. I think we have how many people in the view now? A few hundred already?
Oh, I don't know. It's just a great thing.
Taking off. Thanks,
Thank you
everybody.
for joining.
Absolutely. So it's a special day. I know we were talking earlier, guys, about April 18th and all the various shows that premiere today. So we're part of something very special and very unique, because I don't know how many places are doing live streaming performances with this many people involved in this many wonderful original play work. So thank you for being a part of this, everyone. And I'll pass it off to Sharon and Kat. Take it from there.
Yeah, first of all, we really, again, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to our playwrights. It's really exciting as we're watching the feed and seeing who's signing in and whatnot. Our playwrights are here. We cannot thank you guys enough for the gift of allowing us to do your pieces. I hope you really enjoy what we've done with them. We've got some fantastic performers lined up. And Kat, I'm going to shoot it over to you.
Well, thank you all again for coming. And yes, I wanted to thank all the wonderful actors that have come out to support us. And especially a big thanks to Jim and Sharon, both for helming the tech end and the scripts and bringing it all together. And we couldn't do it without everyone, including everyone out there. So thank you all for being here.
We have a ton of people involved from numerous theaters across Connecticut, which is one of the really exciting things about this whole process, is that we were able to bring together people from really literally every corner. You know, Jim put out a call. We didn't go out and like ask for people and say, hey, we need you, we need you, we need you. Jim put out a call, and all of a sudden it kind of, thought we would get, you know, maybe, I don't know, a handful of people. And we ended up with an overwhelming amount of people, and this turned into something really bigger than I think any of us anticipated from the beginning. So I don't know, back to you, Jim.
All right, well, with that said, everybody enjoy the show. Next up, we're going to queue up our next screen, and we're going to get everybody ready. We have like our virtual backstage between all these, so this is a good time for you to go get a drink and relax and enjoy the show. All right, see you soon.
See you shortly.
Down and out and I've been fine. This is where I draw the line. Darling, darling, come back quick. I need a pound to flesh my face. Skin is linen, tongue's been tied. This is where I run and hide. Well, darling, darling, let me know. Should I stay or should I go?
I Like by Charlene A. Donahue. Maggie is 13, torn between many desperate worlds, between youth and growing up, between love and loss, between boys and girls. Our time is present day, early carnival season, the day after the Crew Debut parade. Maggie is at the fountain of a Garden District mansion in New Orleans.
Last night, I snuck off to the Crew Debut parade in the quarter. I've never done anything like that before. Don't tell my moms. They'd go all Transformers on me, especially because View had a guy dressed as a giant, well, as a huge, a boy's penis. And they think I've never seen one. I have, snuck a peek in the boys' locker room once. They're kind of gross. I went to the parade with a boy. Don't tell my moms. I mean, they're all sensitive to me about it. You can like boys or girls, Maggie May. I know that. But they won't let me date until I'm 16. 16! Juliet was 13, my age, when she fell in love with Romeo. Okay, that didn't end up so good, bad example. But there have to be others. So I think I like boys. Some boys are cute, right? Noah Schnapp, little TJ. Although Billie Eilish is amazing, and don't even get me started on Eris Baker. But lately, I've seen how really mean girls can be. They yell so loud sometimes, I think my bedroom windows are gonna break. I don't think I've heard the word bitch as much in my whole life as I have the last few months. That's why I snuck out last night. I had to get away from their fighting. I tried to be good, to make them see I'd be good if they'd stay together. But they told me yesterday and gave me the whole, it's not your fault and we both love you speech. So, yeah, I'm gonna like boys. Even if I like girls, girls are mean. Don't tell my moms.
Our next one act is entitled Coding Issues by David L. Williams. Ellen, a retired woman in her 60s, Anthony, her son, in his 30s. An afternoon in Ellen's quaint house where she lives alone. She has a cast on her left arm, and she is being helped into her chair by her son, Anthony.
You're good to take care of me. I appreciate it.
You don't need to thank me.
It's true, though. Your brother's not here. Your sister isn't here.
They would if they could.
I know they have jobs and families, but so do you, and you're here. Well, I mean, you don't have a family, but
I do, but yes, my situation is a little different.
you make sacrifices for family. Your father and I did for you kids.
And we all appreciate it.
I think you do. Those other two, I'm not so sure.
Anthony tries the remote for the TV. It's not working. He opens the back and gets the batteries. He exits.
How is
What?
how is Carlos?
He enters.
What did you say, Mom?
How is Carlos?
Carlo, no S.
Right. How is he?
He's fine. He's busy with work and he sends his best wishes for a speedy recovery.
Doubtful.
That's what he said.
Just so you can get home faster.
He broke his ankle a few years ago. He knows what a pain it can be to be immobile.
Your father had a friend, grew up with him, who took a bullet while serving, paralyzed him from the waist down, but you wouldn't know it the way he carried on. He must have been dating half the girls in the neighborhood. He was quite a character. What was his name?
Jimmy.
How would you remember that?
Anthony just gives her a shrug. As they talk, he replaces the batteries.
Maybe if you know you'll never get out, you make peace with it, the immobility. It's knowing that it's keeping you down that will get in your head.
I can imagine.
But who knows? My age, I might never heal right either. I mean, maybe I should be making peace with it.
It's just your arm, Mom.
Just my arm. The pain I felt when it broke.
I mean that it's not affecting your walking.
I can't balance like I used to. That's very important for walking, you know.
I know, Mom. The doctor said you wouldn't be in the cast for long. You'll probably get used to it in no time.
And then you'll be able to get back to your office. I'm sure they miss you there. You're still making the robots?
Yes, Mom.
I tell all my neighbors about it. They are so impressed. I show them pictures. A lot of men want to talk to you about it. You should stop by the clubhouse sometime.
Let's worry about getting you back up and walking around again.
You two still live together, you and Carlos?
Carlo. Yes, Mom, of course we do.
I don't know. I don't hear anything about it, so I was left to wonder.
I don't talk about it because it upsets you.
Talk of it doesn't upset me. That it's happening at all upsets me.
Right, Mom.
If you were really worried about upsetting me, you'd stop living with him. But I guess that doesn't concern you all too much.
I don't want to fight with you.
Respect my wishes and there'll be no argument at all.
That's not... You know what? Let's just keep the issue off the table, okay? While I'm here, it'll make everything a lot easier, don't you think?
I'm thirsty.
What can I get you?
Is there any tea?
I don't know, Mom. It's your house.
There should be some in the fridge.
I'll go get some.
If there isn't, though, don't just put some ice in the room temperature tea. Put the tea in the refrigerator and I'll have water.
I know, Mom. I know how you like your tea.
He exits. She picks up a book and starts to read.
You have one left can in there.
Oh, good.
And I found some new ones at...
Everything all right in there? Anthony? Why are you calling me from the kitchen? What's the matter? Why can't you just come in and tell me? I don't like speaker. Fine.
She presses a button on her phone, and Anthony is now on speakerphone.
Mom, this is a new technology, so no freaking out, okay?
Anthony, I know how phones work.
No, it's not that. I'm on speakerphone.
Speakerphone.
Yeah, am I on speakerphone? Good?
Yeah, I can hear you all right.
All right, good. Anthony, come in here, please.
What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
He enters. Anthony enters, but he is not on the speakerphone.
What are you doing? What's going on?
Anthony, initiate programming mode.
Anthony slumps slightly, sags almost imperceptibly.
Password, please. Carlo, 1225. Accepted. Programming mode initiated.
What are you doing?
He's, Anthony, explain. I'm an experimental helper, ma'am.
What do you mean experimental helper?
Your son, the one who looks like me, his company, is developing a new line of helpers for the aged. I'm part of the prototype, S7 line, called Anthony.
You sent one of your robots here to take care of me?
You need help. Evelyn wants to just send some home care nurse, but I thought this would be, better, more personal. I'm designed to provide a feeling of familial love when true loved ones cannot be nearby.
This is disgusting, Anthony. This is a violation of
I understand, Mom, but it's over now. There are some coding issues with Anthony, so we're sending someone to pick him up. I called the nurse service too, so they'll be there in an hour.
Are you going to apologize for not telling me you're using me as a guinea pig?
Sorry, Mom. Sorry for trying to help. Call me when the nurses come, okay?
Call ends.
What a horrible thing to do to someone. Can you imagine?
He did it out of love.
Excuse me?
He knew you needed help, and so he sent you some.
He should have told me beforehand. I didn't even know his robots could be made to look this realistic.
You needed to see if I could be convincing. Clearly, I was. If this revelation has upset you, I've passed a test, a checkpoint, and for that, I'm sincerely grateful, ma'am.
Disgusting.
Would you like your tea? Before I was interrupted by your message from a son, I had your tea in a glass. Would you still like me to bring it in for you?
I don't know. I guess, yes, sure, yes.
Will do.
He exits and returns with a glass of iced tea. He hands it to her.
Here you are, ma'am.
I don't like that. Looking like Anthony and calling me ma'am, it feels wrong.
I'm sorry. Should I go back to calling you Mom?
No. Thank you for this.
Of course.
So there are a bunch of you that look like my son?
No.
What? Why are you smiling? You're named after him.
That is the operating system's name. Our appearance is dependent upon the family members of those being assisted. Your son hopes we will be the vanguard of elder care.
So you're the future, huh? Well, the future is a trick.
If my presence troubles you, I can retire to another room, leave you to your solitude.
I have a broken arm. I need someone to care for me.
What would you like me to do?
Get Anthony back on the phone.
His phone has been placed on Do Not Disturb mode. Would you like me to try it anyway?
Yes.
I'm sorry. The call was declined. Would you like me to try again?
He knows it's me.
I've alerted him with text message and email that you would like him to call. He has not responded.
Sharper than the serpent's tooth.
It is to have a thankless child.
Yes.
King Lear.
I know.
Of course. Sharper than a serpent's tooth, by the way.
Thank you.
Do you think Anthony thankless?
I don't want to talk about my son.
All right.
Especially not to someone who looks just like him or something that does.
All right. Is there any other way I can help?
You got my tea. What more is there?
You were trying to call your son. Is there something you needed from him?
I was just going to yell at him.
Oh, well, feel free.
Excuse me?
I was designed to mimic Anthony's relationship with you. If you'd like me to go back to operating mode, I can be him and you can yell at me. If that's what you want.
I don't want to yell at my son.
All right.
I mean, not just for the sake of yelling at him. I get no pleasure for that.
Of course not.
I just want him to understand that what he did was wrong. I'm not yelling to hear myself yell. I want him to hear what I have to say.
I'm recording it.
You're recording what?
Our interactions, our words. I'm programmed to record everything so that I might be improved for future interactions.
You're saying he's spying on me?
I'm saying, if you yell at me as him, he will still hear it. He will play it back and listen. Your words will serve their purpose, and I imagine they will make you feel better.
You're suggesting I pretend?
If you like. It's up to you, of course.
Oh, I don't know if that would work.
I understand. If you'd like to try, I'm here.
I wouldn't even know what to say.
Of course.
All right. I'll try. Anthony, you shouldn't have done this. You should have warned me.
That's true.
Even if it's part of the testing of this thing, I'm not a test subject. I'm not a guinea pig. I am your mother.
You're right. I should have made a special case for you. Is there a problem?
You're agreeing with me.
Is that not what you wanted?
It's not what he would do.
Has he never agreed with you, even when you're making logical points?
Well, he wouldn't just agree with me. And if he did, I would know he's patronizing me, that it wouldn't matter ultimately. It wouldn't change his mind, which is just as frustrating as someone disagreeing just to disagree.
I understand.
I thought you were programmed to be like him.
A softer version.
What does that mean?
I'm like him, yes, but I've been programmed to be 20% more agreeable than he usually would.
Well, this seems more than 20%.
Well, I'm in programming mode now. Would you like me to go back to operating mode? If so, just say, initiate operating mode.
Fine.
But initiating, that means you need a password to...
Initiate operating mode.
Sorry, Mom, I was drifting off for a bit. I got you your iced tea. Did you need anything else?
You shouldn't have done this, Anthony.
It was a cold iced tea, I promise.
You sent that machine over to take care of me.
That was
You should have warned me.
Well, it wouldn't have been a proper test if I had. You would have treated him differently if you had known he wasn't me.
I don't care about your tests. This is about my well-being, not your company's profits.
You really thought it was me.
I know! It's despicable!
No, Mom, I mean, if you didn't know any better, then what did it hurt? If there hadn't been a coding issue, you wouldn't have known at all. Maybe not ever. You wouldn't have had a great experience, and what's the problem with that?
I can't believe I have to explain this.
Oh, you never did anything like this to us. Told us a little lie because you knew it would benefit us in the long run. I seem to remember you telling Chris that mashed potatoes were ice cream.
That's different.
No, I'm not sure mashed potatoes is much healthier than ice cream.
You were children. You were often obstinate children. You have to trick children once in a while.
For their own good.
Yes.
Well,
Well, I'm not a child, nor am I. I don't want to do this anymore.
Mom, I just...
Stop that. I really don't.
I'll drop it then.
No, not that. Go back to how you were before.
What are you talking about?
To the 100% nice version.
Are you feeling okay, Mom?
It's fine. I want the robot back.
No, they're programming it still. If you want to see it,
Stop it. Just programming mode.
Mom.
Initiate programming mode.
Password, please.
Oh, damn it. It's Carlos. Something with Carlos, right? Am I close?
Password, please.
Shoot, it was Carlos and some numbers after it. It was you can't help me at all, huh?
Password, please.
Why don't I okay. I think I got it. Initiate programming mode.
Maybe I should call a doctor.
Don't be silly. I'm feeling fine. When is his birthday?
Who?
Your boyfriend.
Did you plan on sending him something? Because that would be a first.
Well, if I knew when it was, then maybe.
My husband's birthday is September 3rd.
Thank you.
Are you going to...
Initiate programming mode.
Password, please.
Carlos 0903.
Incorrect password.
Carlos 0309 then.
Incorrect password.
It's the S, isn't it? Carlo 0309 or Carlo 0903.
Incorrect password.
Oh, ridiculous. Initiate operating mode.
Send him something?
Sure, something nice. When did you two meet?
4 years ago, Mom. Are you suddenly
What day?
Christmas? We met at a Christmas party.
That's it. Initiate programming mode.
Password, please.
Carlo 1225.
Accepted. Programming mode initiated.
Finally,
Was it helpful, our interactions?
you were there.
I'm not programmed to evaluate the exchanges, just to participate in them.
It wasn't great.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Maybe if you were 30% more agreeable.
Would you like that?
You can do that?
Of course.
Oh. How high can I go?
100%. But you didn't want that before. Do you now?
No. He'll watch all this, but I can't turn it off.
I cannot override that original programming.
30% then.
I'm happy to
That's
comply.
35.
35 now.
Yes, 40. 40.
All right.
50 would be what? Like a coin flip on anything, right? That seems fair.
I would be 50% more agreeable. Unless you were 0% agreeable for, that would be.
Let's go with 50.
All right.
Initiate operating mode.
Why are you interested in about when we met?
Don't change the subject. You should have warned me about the robot.
Maybe, but you understand why I couldn't.
I understand your policy, but I don't think it's ethical to do that to your mother. Am I the only one you're testing this on?
No, not at all.
Then what does it hurt to throw out the results with me and give me fair warning?
I hadn't thought about it that way.
Not as if my interaction would make or break the project, right?
That's true. I'm sorry, Mom.
Thank you, Anthony. Apology accepted. Initiate programming mode. Carlo 1225.
Better.
So much.
I'm happy you could get your point across. If you'd like, I'll emphasize that Anthony watched this interaction first.
If you wouldn't mind.
Of course. Can I get you anything else?
Why did he choose 20%? With a parent in need, why not make you 100% agreeable? Wouldn't that be the kind thing to do?
It was attempted. The caregiver found it unnerving. They thought they were going to die, and that's why they were being treated so nicely.
People can be ridiculous.
I have also found that to be the case.
Has he called back?
Not yet.
But he knows I want to talk to him?
He has been made aware, yes.
It's really remarkable. But you look and sound just like Anthony. You could fool anybody.
Then my programmers have done their job. Is there anything else I can help you?
Have you met Anthony's Carlo?
No, ma'am.
Ellen is fine.
No, Ellen. You are the only member of Anthony's family I've met.
Carlo's not really a member of the family.
He is his husband. Do you not consider that family?
No. Initiate operating mode.
Would you like to watch something on TV?
I'd like to talk to you about you and Carlo.
Okay.
I want you to end it.
Excuse me?
I think you heard me.
You want me to divorce my husband?
Yes.
Mom, no.
You're not even going to consider it?
Considering ending my marriage just because you want it? No, not really.
How about because God wants it?
I don't think it keeps God up at night.
God is not to be mocked, Anthony.
I'm not mocking him, but I think that
Initiate programming mode. 1225.
How may I help you?
100% agreeable. Initiate operating mode.
Oh, I think I lost my train of thought there.
You believe in the will and law of God, right?
Of course I do, Mom.
And you honor him the same way you honor me as your mother.
Absolutely.
And your thing with Carlo, you know that's not of God, right?
If you say so, Mom.
So what are you going to do?
What do you want?
Oh, I have no want of my own. But God would not want you to live in sin like this. And if you were to honor him,
I would have to end it.
do you think?
That would be the only way it makes sense.
If that's what you think is best,
I do.
you'll miss him, of course.
Of course. But this is more important.
Then I respect your very difficult choice, Anthony. Initiate programming mode 1225.
You keep returning to operating mode. I hope I'm providing you some care.
The words are helpful, but they're just words.
Since you know I'm not your Anthony, what I say can only achieve so much. Was it not for the coding issue?
I would have been fooled. You really could fool anybody. He's still on Do Not Disturb?
Your son? He's marked as available now.
Did he call me back like I asked?
I have no record of that. Would you like me to call him?
Well,
It would have to be now. He's about to go into a meeting.
no. Initiate operating mode.
Thank you. I'm glad this decision honors you and God.
You should call him.
Call God?
Carlo.
You want me to?
You should call him and tell him it's over.
You don't think we should talk about it in person?
Oh, it's cruel to lead someone on when you know it's over.
I'll call him now.
Before you do, I'd like another tea. This one's gotten warm.
I put a few in the fridge, but nothing's cold yet.
You can put it on ice.
You sure? You never like it that way.
People can change, right?
He nods and exits to the kitchen. Ellen's phone buzzes. She looks at it and declines the call. Anthony returns with tea and a glass of ice.
Thank you, sweetheart.
I'll call Carlo then.
Initiate programming mode. Carlo 1225.
How can I help you, Ellen? Is everything all right?
Yes. Initiate operating mode.
Anthony acts as before. He FaceTimes with Carlo.
Hi. No, I'm here with Mom. It's, Carlo. Carlo, we need to talk.
He walks out of the room. Ellen watches him go and sips her tea.
Just Desserts by David McGregor. A company lunchroom. Two co-workers, Joyce and Evan, sit at a table having lunch. There is a fridge nearby somewhere.
Well, I've been feeling a little burned out, and I was thinking of taking a few vacation days, maybe go to Mexico or something. But I get the feeling they're going to be sending me to Akron next week.
Oh, there's nothing like Akron, Ohio in February. The ice, snow, gray skies, the wind that peels your skin off the face. Well, I'm just glad it's your turn to go.
Becky enters.
Hey guys. Okay, wish me luck. I'm going in.
She opens the fridge door.
Yes, my lunch is still there. Must be my lucky day.
Becky brings some Tupperware to the table and sits down with Joyce and Evan.
How about you guys? Any casualties?
Well, I thought I was living dangerously by bringing a fruit salad and a salami sandwich, but as you can see, they both made it through the morning unscathed.
How about you, Joyce?
I lost a couple of brownies.
Brownies? Did she say brownies?
She said brownies.
Joyce, what are you thinking? You put brownies in the fridge? Well, of course they're gone. What did you expect with the notorious PIG on the prowl? Those brownies probably didn't make it to 9 o'clock.
If that.
If that. You might as well ask a pack of Dobermans to guard your cheeseburger.
Are you feeling okay? Putting anything remotely resembling a dessert in that fridge is something no sane person would do.
I poisoned the brownies.
You what?
Poisoned them. I knew they'd get ripped off, so I put poison in them. I even put a little sign. Poison brownies.
Oh my God. But why the sign?
I wanted to be honest about it, but I figured the notorious PIG would think the sign was a joke and eat them anyway.
Whoa, you go, girl. Our little Joyce is turning into quite the rebel.
Oh, so what did you put in them? Like a lax?
What do you mean?
Yeah, what kind of poison?
It was kind of a mixture of things. I found the recipe on the internet.
So what does the poison do?
Well, first, I guess it makes you feel really thirsty, feverish. Then it starts to work its way through your system and it gradually paralyzes you. Well, after that, you go into convulsions and die. I'm fed up, all right? It's ridiculous for us to put up with having our food stolen all the time. And if this company is too cheap to put a security camera in here, fine. Let's see how the notorious PIG likes my special brownies.
Chris enters.
What is the temperature in this place? Are you guys hot? When are they? The thermostat set at like 90?
Chris opens the fridge in search of more water.
Little thirsty, Chris?
Oh, I'm dying out there. You guys aren't hot?
We're fine.
Say, Chris, did you happen to find a couple of brownies in the fridge this morning?
Brownies? No. Why?
Because if you happen to take someone else's brownies.
Wait. What are you guys saying? That I'm the notorious PIG?
Well, you're certainly sweating like one.
Seriously, you think it's me who's stealing food?
Is it?
No. Oh, God, I'm so thirsty.
You're thirsty because you stole my brownies and ate them.
No, I didn't.
You did.
Look, that is ridiculous. You have no right to accuse me of anything. Besides, why would brownies make me thirsty?
Because I poisoned them, just like the sign said.
You're making that up.
Are you feeling any abdominal cramping yet?
No.
Chris, you are the notorious PIG, and you've been stealing people's lunches for the past 6 months. Admit it.
I am not. I don't have to take this. You know what? Screw you guys. I don't feel well. I'm just gonna go home.
Suit yourself, but you'll never make it to the doctor in time.
In time for what?
The poison in those brownies, they're going to kill you.
Unless you confess to being the notorious PIG, in which case, I have the antidote right here.
Joyce pulls out a clear vial and holds it up.
Nice. You really thought this out.
But I didn't eat any
brownies. And you don't need the antidote.
Joyce puts the antidote away and takes another bite of her sandwich. Chris agonizes.
Look, I found the brownies on my desk. Okay, I thought it was left over from a birthday party or something. Somebody left it there, and I ate them.
That's a lie.
Of course it's a lie.
Tell us what you are. Tell us you're the notorious PIG.
Oh my God, Joyce, just give me the antidote.
Joyce pulls out the antidote again.
This? Only when you admit what you are.
I can't feel my legs. Joyce, just please.
Joyce holds out the vial, but when Chris reaches for it, Joyce puts it back.
Tell us what you are. Say it.
I'm the notorious PIG.
Didn't quite catch that.
I'm the notorious PIG.
Louder, like you're proud of it. Tell the world, Chris.
I'm the notorious PIG.
Yes, you are. But I suppose even notorious PIGs deserve to live.
Joyce holds out the vial. Just as Chris is about to grab it, Evan takes the vial.
Yeah, I disagree. I don't think the notorious PIG deserves to live.
Evan, give him the antidote.
Why?
He's going to die.
And what's the downside there?
Death.
So? People die all the time. I mean, seriously, give me one good reason why he should live.
You think he deserves to die because of a couple of brownies?
It's not just a couple of brownies. He's been scavenging around here for months. It's like having a parasite inside of your body. That's what we're looking at, a human parasite. I say let's get rid of it while we still can.
But it's just some food.
It's not just food. Let me tell you something. About a month ago, I knew I had a rough day ahead of me. So in the morning, I got up and I made myself a sandwich for lunch. And not just any sandwich. I had some fresh sourdough bread, smoked turkey, a couple of slices of provolone cheese, and I made myself some guacamole, just the way I like it. Tomatoes, some lemon juice, and a little bit of garlic salt. And that day was a day from hell. Every phone call, every email, I felt like my head was going to explode. But I kept telling myself, okay, this is bad, but you have the most kick-ass sandwich in the world waiting for you. But you know what? I didn't have it waiting for me. because when I opened up the fridge at lunchtime, it was gone. And you know what I ended up eating? Some stale Fritos and a Twix bar from the vending machine.
I remember that day. I thought you were going to stroke out on us.
Chris clutches at Evan's pant leg.
But we can't just let him die. What are we, judge, jury, and executioner?
We don't need to be the judge or jury. He's just confessed.
And if he dies, he's his own executioner. He did this to himself.
Give me that.
Snatches the vial from Evan.
Honest to God.
Chris crawls to Becky, hand outstretched, struggling to get a breath as Becky uncaps the vial. But just as Chris gets there, Becky pulls the vial away.
But you know, you might have a point. Say we do give him the antidote. What then? I'm guessing after all this, he would quit his job, but then he's just going to go somewhere else and do the same thing all over again.
Yep.
Well, we don't know that. Maybe he's learned his lesson.
He's a grown man, and day after day, week after week, he has been ripping off his coworkers. What kind of person does that? And is this the kind of person we want in society? Do we want him to breed and have kids? No. Do we want him associating with other people and passing on his behavior? No.
Exactly. Is this world a better place with him in it? I say no.
Me too.
Okay, I see your point, but honestly, I never wanted to actually kill anyone. I just wanted to teach him a lesson. And if he dies, I might get into trouble.
No, you won't. They were marked poison brownies. Can you sue a rat poison company if someone eats the rat poison? No, he knowingly ate brownies that were marked poison. That's his problem, not yours. You're golden.
Besides, none of us is talking. And when someone finds him dead in here, they're going to think heart attack or stroke or something.
But, you know, this really should be Joyce's decision. She's the one who cooked up the brownies, after all.
That's true. Yeah, that makes sense.
Hands the vial to Joyce.
Your call, Joyce.
I don't know. This is America, right? A democracy and everything? Maybe majority rule is the best. Huh. That worked quicker than I thought it would.
Well, what's that expression? Death is what happens while you're busy making plans?
I think it's life is what happens while you're busy making plans.
Oh, I guess they both make sense.
Evan stands up.
Well, I have a PowerPoint presentation to put together. I better get cracking on that.
Becky and Joyce stand up as well. Evan starts dumping the remains of his lunch into the trash can.
And I need to start crunching some numbers for a certain somebody's trip to fabulous Akron, Ohio.
Damn it. You're kidding me.
Sorry, you're up in the rotation.
Hey, you know what? Take your vacation days. You deserve a margarita or two on a Mexican beach. I'll go to Akron.
Good call. I'll get started on the paperwork.
Seriously?
Well, absolutely. You really went all out on a limb, taking care of this whole notorious PIG business for everyone.
And you know how they keep telling us we're a team and all that? Well, this is what teammates do.
Yeah, you had our back, we have yours.
Damn straight.
Thanks, guys. Hey, you know what? I'll grab some Mexican chocolate when I'm down there. When I come back, I'm bringing in fresh brownies for everyone.
Yeah, winner, chicken dinner.
That's what I'm talking about.
They all high five and all start to exit, then pause to look back at Chris.
It is a little sad.
What happens to people?
I don't know.
I just don't get it.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
They all exit. End of play.
BFOQ by Ira Houtman. The setting is a conference room at the college. A large table dominates the room. The time is the present. Professors Essex and Greensward sit at the table. Essex reads to Slocum and Greensward.
Subject, name. May ask, current legal name. May not ask whether the person has worked under a different name. May not ask questions that would divulge ancestry. Any questions? Greensward?
Good. The less we know about the applicants, the less we're forced to follow trendy hiring preferences.
Slocum?
Greenwood wants all the new professors to just look like all the old professors.
Silence. Essex continues reading.
Subject, sex. May ask, nothing. Subject, race. May ask, nothing. Subject, birthplace. May ask, nothing. Marital status, nothing. Sexual preference, nothing. Age, may ask, are you over the age of 18? May not ask, age.
This demand for constipation comes from the college government compliance office?
To comply with federal regulations. The college can get sued by the losing candidates if we ask them these things, or if they find out we asked the winning candidate. Subject, lifestyle. May ask, nothing. Family, nothing. Religion, nothing. Financial position, nothing. Arrest record, nothing.
The weather.
Very funny, Slocum.
Actually, nothing. If it's hot or cold where he flew in from, and he seems to like or dislike it, it could reveal what kind of climate he grew up in, and that could hint at ancestry. We'd have to also ask all the other candidates about the weather, or we could be in big trouble.
Whether he or she flew in from. We're not just interviewing men.
Oh, and don't ask how the flight was. Remember that it could lead anywhere.
We are taking these candidates out to lunch, Essex. Can we ask them what kind of food they like?
Too risky. The compliance office might find out.
Can the waiter ask for their order?
Very funny.
Are we allowed to hear the answer?
Oh, Slocum, what's your problem?
We may be required to leave the restaurant when he orders and then eat. This could have a race or sex or age specific. They may choke. Whether or not they make a noise could reveal their ancestors were stoic or flamboyant.
Slocum, the rules are designed to protect the college and the applicants.
Everyone notices race and sex. The whole faculty of this English department is white and male. Tell me you haven't noticed.
And accomplished.
They were hired years ago when being white and male were accomplishments. Finally, one of them is retiring.
Oh, you just want to be the last white male in the door.
I'm ready to walk out of the door and over the cliff if you'll join me. But you go first.
I think that's enough. We're here to conduct an interview.
Well, where do you stand then, Essex?
I don't stand anywhere. I go. I go where the rules lead. That made me chair of this department, and that will make me provost of this college someday. I'm not going to ruin things by chairing a bungling committee.
Well, what the hell are we going to talk to these people about then?
The job is Shakespeare scholar. We'll start with Shakespeare, and we'll stick with him.
Got it, Slocum?
Today's candidate is back from his meeting with the dean. I'll bring him in.
Essex exits. Slocum and Greensward glare at each other.
It's a him, Happy Greensward.
So far, so good, Slocum.
They glare at each other again. Essex re-enters with the candidate, Wedgwood Carlyle. He is an intense white male. Slocum and Greensward rise. Essex does the introductions.
Greensward, Slocum, this is Dr. Wedgwood Carlyle. Please, have a seat.
They all sit.
Delighted to meet you, Wedgwood.
Good to meet you, Wedgwood. How was your flight?
Slocum smiles at Greensward. Essex glares at Slocum.
I mean, how would Shakespeare felt about the flight?
Very good question. But how do we know what Shakespeare would have felt about anything? All we know is the feelings he gave his characters. Were any of them his feelings? I endorse the undersung idea that a feeling of sex nausea runs through the tragedies. But was it Shakespeare's sex nausea? Would he have revealed his own sex nausea? He didn't reveal the identity of the Dark Lady of the Sonnets. Did she have sex nausea? Would he have revealed his own sex nausea, but not revealed her sex nausea? Is that gallantry or lack of interest? And don't forget, a plane can bounce in the air. It can make people nauseous in the literal sense that's needed before a metaphor can be created. I'm sure Shakespeare would have been as nauseous bouncing in a bed as bouncing in the air. Perhaps because he had bounced in the air and saw that as a metaphor for sex in bed. If only he could have been in the air to bounce.
Silence.
Well then, you must tell me what you think.
I don't know what to think.
This man has deep passion for his subject, very clearly expressed. The students will adore him. I know I shouldn't say this out loud, but he's the perfect candidate.
You don't know what to think either.
Perhaps we shouldn't jump right into Shakespeare. Our candidate needs some time to recover from his flight, adjust to the jet lag.
Actually, I walked here.
Don't tell us from where. It could be demographically revealing.
I came in a few days ago. I'm staying with my parents. I grew up in a small town.
Stop! You can't get personal.
I'm proud of my culture. All the children were good at playing and...
Right there. All the children does not mean you were a child when you were young. Could have been anything. You've told us nothing about yourself. That's essential to a legal and successful interview.
Please continue, Wedgwood. What did you play?
Well, we like to play all sorts.
You did not just say we. You did not attach yourself to any identifiably human group. You merely pushed some air out of your mouth that has a different meaning in every language.
Easy now, Greensward.
It's Slocum. I like this candidate, so he's trying to derail him. He's intentionally sabotaging this committee.
Silence.
Shall we talk some more about Shakespeare?
Certainly. I've been fascinated by Shakespeare since I was a teenager, and I simply must...
You get it? You weren't a teenager any more than you were a child.
You were a teenager, you can't unsay it.
I'm going to ask that Slocum be thrown off this committee.
Do you know what Shakespeare said about children?
Pause.
I think we can talk about that. What do you say, Essex?
I'm not sure.
Well, do you remember when Hamlet talks about an array of children? Scholars disagree, but I think the most meaningful interpretation of this is that children...
No, I've decided, in light of all that's been said here today, I don't think we can talk anymore about children or teenagers.
Silence.
Do you remember the end of Hamlet, where nearly everyone dies?
Go on. Oh, we're getting back on track.
Well, that's all.
Pause.
Wedgwood, are you threatening us?
Just nerves.
Oh, it means he's disqualified himself.
No, he hasn't. Death threats are allowable statements.
Look, I know you both have your reasons for continuing this candidate.
Enough from you, Slocum. Do you really think academic white males are irrelevant? Listen to me. Who but a white male can gaze at the centuries of groveling before Shakespeare without throwing up? Without the deranged zeal of white males to protect their culture, there would be nothing for anyone in academia to argue about. The life of the mind would grind and stumble to a halt. So yes, I want to hire this absurd but essential person.
That is the slimiest defense for the status quo I have ever heard.
I'm turning your own points against you.
Because your own side is bankrupt!
Gentlemen!
Pause.
Actually, I hate Shakespeare.
You do?
Didn't you read the writing sample that you required me to send?
We checked off a box on a form.
I am a rarity. I'm a self-hating white male, and I have a special hatred of white males who are dead. If Shakespeare spent half his life nauseous, I'm thrilled.
Pause.
Why aren't you shutting me up? You've told me this personal stuff is all taboo.
What you say doesn't matter anymore. You're not the white male we need.
I'm against you for opposite reasons. You still don't increase our faculty diversity.
You might still be acceptable if no one else impresses the committee. I will not preside over a failed search.
If you hire me, I demand your corner office.
Well, that's the end of that. Goodbye, Dr. Carlyle.
Not so fast. I'm afraid you're stuck with me.
We are?
Because of BFOQ.
What?
Bona fide occupational qualification. A quality that an employer can legally consider when hiring, no matter what a compliance office says, and no matter what the three of you want.
And what is your BFOQ?
I bring long-sought harmony to your department. You're a trio of dysfunction, a conservative, a liberal, and a careerist. But now you finally agree on something. You all despise me.
That's your bona fide occupational qualification? Your obnoxiousness?
When I met with the dean, he said this department had to hire someone to bring unity. I said, I'm a uniter. He said, prove it. I just did.
So we have no choice?
Uniter isn't even a word. This is an English department.
I kept telling you he's unqualified.
If we reject this extortionist, do you think you two can get along with each other on your own?
I think so.
If he behaves.
Then we no longer need you. Goodbye again, Dr. Carlyle.
All the fools are now on the same page. It's like the end of a comedy by Shakespeare, whom I may or may not hate. My book, like all of my thinking, is a template of mental confusion.
Pause.
But will the harmony I see among you last? Or is it only a faint hemi-demi-semi-quaver of true peace?
You won't be around to find out.
If you start fighting again, you have to hire me. Carlyle the Unclogger, BFOQ.
Carlyle exits and closes the door.
Bona fide occupational quinacridone.
Quinacridone?
It's in the dictionary, unlike uniter.
Slocum.
Yes?
You know that line from Casablanca about Louis and the beginning of a beautiful friendship?
Yes.
This isn't it.
My feelings exactly.
Listen, you two! Stop fighting! If Wedgwood is out there listening, he'll be back to my corner office!
Pause.
Here's something I think we could all agree on. We could hire nobody and stop teaching Shakespeare.
What?
Greensword, what did you say before? Academia is all about arguing?
Go on.
What did the school boards once say about evolution versus intelligent design? Teach the controversy.
You mean teach our opinions instead of teaching Shakespeare? Or teaching literature at all?
Why not? Controversy is what all interests anyone anymore.
I like that. It solves all our problems. Makes me look managerial.
I rather like the idea of teaching myself and all that I stand for.
That's all professors do anyway.
Well, then we're finally united. No more BFOQ.
Death to BFOQ.
Of course, we need a diverse faculty to have any real controversies.
Oh, I knew it. It was a trick.
We are planning a bunch of white males to speak for the world?
No more fighting. Failure is not an option for my committee.
Tell that to Slocum.
So I'm dissolving it. I'm hiring an adjunct to teach Shakespeare. My wife. She read him in college.
What?
She's white, but she's a woman. I'm splitting the difference between you two.
The West barely slows its march to civilizational suicide.
You think working with your spouse is peaceful? Wedgwood will come right back and take over.
Try to get along with each other.
Never!
Essex slumped, defeated.
Essex, try to understand. This is my favorite committee.
It is?
Well, on all other committees, I renumber old courses, or I price paper plates for the student retention picnic. But here, I express who I am. Here, I live. So I refuse to be dissolved.
Pause.
Here I live. That was surprisingly moving, Greenswood. I didn't know your committee work touched you so deeply.
Maybe I've said too much.
No. Maybe I'm the one who should be embarrassed. I haven't always been my best self with you. And
No, you don't have to apologize, Slocum.
Greenswood, this could be the beginning of a beautiful
No, it couldn't, Slocum. Like all liberals, you just fell for a heap of emotional mush. Being on this committee with you is death, not life.
It was a trick!
Both of us can play tricks. I despise you and everything you stand for.
I hate you and this will never end!
Carlisle opens the door and re-enters.
As you feared, I was out there listening. You can't stop fighting. So now, it's my English department.
Oh!
No more white males, and no more diversity either. I'll figure something out. And Essex, I'm taking your corner office.
With Essex attacks both Greensward and Slocum. The three fall to the floor in a tangle.
Get it out of your systems, boys. Do you remember the end of Disney's Fantasia? One day the dinosaurs are killing each other, and the next, they stagger together under a scorching sun. I'll see you all bright and early next semester. BFOQ.
Her Tongue, a play in one act by Henry Arthur Jones. Welcome to Varley's Private Hotel, Southampton, England, in the autumn of 1915. About 80 miles from Southampton is and famously the point of departure for the Titanic. Varley's is a moderate hotel, and our play takes place in its private sitting room, furnished in an old-fashioned, rather dingy but comfortable way. The fire is well lit in the fireplace, and just outside the large bay window, we see the hotel's small garden, and just beyond its wall, steamer ships and boat masts, the colors and shapes of this well-worn and busy harbor town. It's mid-morning, not too long until lunch, and Minnie and Fred Bracey are shown into the sitting room as they attempt to make a suitable match once and for all for their dear friend. Well, let's find out together.
How long will you be requiring the sitting room, sir?
Only for an hour or so. My friend is leaving by the Dunstaffnage. What time does she sail?
At 2 o'clock. Will this room suit you, sir?
Yes, this will do. When my friend comes back, ask him to come here.
Yes, sir.
Well, this is a pretty mad bit of business.
Not at all. I saw Mr. Scoble was rather struck by Patty at the ball last week. It was lucky she was staying at Southsea and could get over so easily.
Oh, what's the good of bringing her over for an hour? They can't fix up an engagement in that time.
Oh, why not? Mr. Scoble knows his own mind.
Well, yes.
And he wants to get married.
Yes, but you're going ahead too fast, old girl.
Oh, well, there isn't time to waste. He has only another hour in England, and he isn't engaged yet. What did he really say in the smoking room last night?
Oh, nothing much, except that he wanted a wife out there, and he'd wished he'd had an opportunity of seeing more of Patty. And on the strength of that, you telegraphed straight off to Patty to come here and meet him.
Oh, naturally. Mr. Scoble is going to be a very rich man, and I wanted to give poor old Patty a chance.
She has muddled her affairs terribly. You might just give Pat a friendly caution.
Her tongue. Yes, she does talk.
And never says anything. But look at her mother.
Oh, Aunt is a downright horrid old bore.
Yeah, and Patty's just as bad. Poor old Laurie.
My poor old Laurie.
Well, fancy being out in the wilds of Argentina and having nothing to listen to but Patty's tongue for 4 or 5 years. So, you've turned up, Laurie.
Yes, there's a mistake about my cabin. Wrong number. They've turned another fellow in.
Oh, well, perhaps you'll have to stay till the next boat.
Can't.
Well, not even to meet my charming cousin Patty and get to know her better?
Must be in Buenos Aires this day. 3 weeks. Miss Hanslope is coming here.
Oh, yes. I just got her telegram. She says, delighted to come, and she'll be at Varley's at 12. She'll be here directly.
In your telegram to her, you didn't mention it was on my account.
No. Well, at least I said that you were sailing by the Dunstaffnage and wished to say goodbye to her.
You haven't committed me.
Oh, no. But you are still interested in Patty?
Yes, indeed.
Oh, and you hope to be still further interested?
Yes, I dread the terrible loneliness out there. Not a soul to speak to for weeks together.
Patty is splendid company, isn't she, Fred?
Oh, delightful. You'll never have a dull moment, old boy.
Oh, and she has refused 3 offers in the last 6 months.
And I know Bill Garris is screwing up his pluck to ask her.
I'm afraid you don't stand much of a chance. Still, you can but try.
Thank you. If you'll merely give me half an hour alone with Miss Hanslope.
Mr. Scoble.
Yes?
A clerk from the shipping office wishes to see you about the cabin, sir.
I'll come to him. If Miss Hanslope comes, I shall be back in a few minutes.
Well, Patty can't say we haven't done our best for her.
If only she won't talk too much.
Yes, Pat's a good-looking girl. If she'd only hold her tongue, no one would ever guess what a fool she is.
It was her horrible chatter that choked off poor George Moorcroft. He told me so himself.
Well, perhaps Laurie won't find her out. He'll only have half an hour. Let's hope he'll spend all of the time in looking at her.
Yes, Mr. and Mrs. Bracy. He's a fair little man with reddish hair and a sandy, bristling moustache. And she's a charming woman with a tall, dark woman with a chinchilla muff and a pointed nose somewhat rather like my own. Oh, now why couldn't you show me in at first instead of making such a fuss about it? Oh, I've left a waterproof. Please look after it. Oh, and an umbrella. Well, here you are, my dear. Mwah! I've been racing all over the hotel to find you. Oh, I do think Southampton is the most stupid place, and the waiters are absolutely the most stupid people under the sun. Well, dear, where is Mr. Scobell? Do you really think now that he is smitten? I couldn't understand your telegram, so I flew upstairs without any breakfast and dressed as quickly as I could. I hope I haven't overdone it, because I don't wish Mr. Scobell to think me a dressy, extravagant woman. At the same time, I want to look my sweetest and best. Oh, Fred, how are you? How can Minnie let you wear such awful waistcoats? When I get a husband, I shall take care to... Oh, where have I put that telegram? Oh, but you know, that night at the ball, I thought he was her because, you know, he kept looking at me in a... Well, you know how men really are when they're very... Oh, here it is. Oh, you have made a great impression. Mr. Scobell. He is most anxious to see you again. Meet us at Varley's Hotel, Southampton, early as possible. Your whole future is at stake. Most important, you have an understanding with him before he sails. Do you know, I think that was the dearest and sweetest telegram. It was the sweetest thing in all the world for you to spend all that money on a telegram. And when it's all settled, I shall give you my diamond and pearl brooch as a little acknowledgement. Oh, darling, you know the one with the large pearl for the body of the key. Oh, it's my favorite brooch. And I shall work Fred a very handsome waistcoat myself instead of that awful thing he's wearing. And do you really think, eh? Mr. Scobell, is he really smitten?
Well, we've all but fixed it up for you. You've only got to let him propose and accept him.
Oh, thank you, dear. Of course I shall accept him if he gives me the chance.
He's tremendously rich. In a few years, he'll be a millionaire.
A multi-millionaire. You've only got to go out to Argentina for 4 or 5 years, Pat, and then come back to London and help him to spend it.
It will be your own fault if you don't bring it off this time.
My dear, how can it be my fault when I've simply flown over here without any breakfast to see him? I wonder if I could just have a biscuit and a glass of sherry.
Certainly.
No, it might make my nose red. Oh, my nose isn't red now, is it? Oh, it always gets a little red when I go without breakfast. Oh, I always wish I'd put on my other hat, you know, the large one. But I thought it might get dusty. However, if he is really, I dare say it will do well enough. And after all, it isn't what one wears as much as what one is in oneself that really matters. And I think I'll take my hat off. Yes, if you don't think it's just a little too... Oh, yes, that's better. Yes, that really looks better. Do you know, I think I shall hang back a bit at first and give him just a tiny wee bit of a snubbing.
Oh, my dear Pat, we don't have time for that.
Take my advice, Pat. Come to business at once. The moment Laurie makes you an offer, or even a little before, down on him and don't give him a chance of escape.
Oh, very well, I will. But I hope you won't think I'm throwing myself at him, because it isn't as if I hadn't other chances. There's George Moorcroft only waiting for me to give him another chance. And I rather very fancy Mr. Garris is hoping Oh, I'm sure my nose is a bit red.
Oh, not a bit. Your nose is all right. It isn't your nose that will do the mischief.
What then? What do you mean?
Oh, well, now, Pat, don't get angry, but George Moorcroft told me that the reason he hung back was, well, dear, it was your tongue.
My tongue? My tongue? My tongue! The reason George Moorcroft holds back is because I've very plainly given him to understand that it is absolutely not in the least possible use in the world his coming forward. George Moorcroft, well, he has the vilest temper. George Moorcroft.
Well, never mind, George Moorcroft. Laurie Scoble will be here in a moment.
Yes, and now, Patty, for your own sake, take care.
Oh, take care of what?
Well, Mr. Scoble is a cold, quiet, reserved man.
Oh, then he'll naturally want someone very gay and lively.
Oh, I don't think Mr. Scoble will like a
shows
woman who's...
Ferry how little you know of human nature. People are always attracted by their opposites. I'm very glad you told me Mr. Scoble is cold and reserved, because now I shall know exactly how to manage him. I was going to be a little reserved and standoffish myself, but now, well, I think I shall be just a little, free and easy. So to fit completely into his moods. Why are you two looking at each other like that? Do let me know how to manage my own love affairs. Oh, really, one would think I'd never had a proposal before.
I hope, Patty, you'll never stand in need of one again.
Oh.
Ah, Miss Hanslope has just arrived.
Oh, how do you do? It was so kind of you to wish to see me again. I had a croquet party at the Barringers. They're really very nice people, and one meets such a lot of nice people there. But the moment I got Minnie's telegram, I flew off and just came over here.
One moment, Patty. Minnie and I have a little shopping to do, and if you'll excuse us. Laurie, old fellow, I'll order lunch for 4, and I'll have it ready to pop on the table the moment we arrive. Come along, Minnie. We must make haste.
So, you're really sailing for Argentina today?
Yes.
Oh, I've always wished to travel. Of course, we've done Switzerland and the Riviera till we're utterly sick of it. I loathe Switzerland, but I've always had a great desire to explore fresh countries and camp it out and rough it a great deal, and perhaps do a little pig sticking. That is, if you wouldn't think it a little, just a tiny little bit unwomanly. I'm such a horror of doing anything unwomanly. Oh, when I die, I should like my epitaph to be, she never did anything unwomanly. Just that. No more. She never did anything unwomanly. Oh, and perhaps you would think pig sticking a bit unwomanly.
There is no pig sticking in Argentina.
Oh, isn't there? Well then, of course, that answers the question. Where is Argentina?
It's South America.
Oh, South America! How awfully interesting. I've always dreamed of South America since I was a schoolgirl and read about the Red Indians and the Incas and the pagodas and the conquest of Peru. Oh, I can't remember who it was that conquered Peru. Oh, Peru was conquered, wasn't it? Peru is in South America, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh. And so you really sail for Argentina this afternoon?
Yes.
I felt so flattered when I got Minnie's telegram to say that you remembered me. And we only met that one night at the ball, but how often one finds that even chance meetings like ours are charged with lifelong consequences, doesn't one?
Yes.
One sees a face in a crowd, or perhaps in a railway carriage, or one hears a distant note of music, or perhaps in the bustle and whirl of a London season, a sense of the utter emptiness of things comes over one, and one longs to throw off all the trammels of civilization and live just a sweet, simple existence in some new country. Haven't you ever felt like that?
Not exactly.
So you really must sail for Argentina this afternoon?
Yes.
Oh. I really couldn't understand Minnie's telegram. She said something about your sailing and you'd like an opportunity of seeing me.
Yes.
You did wish to see me, didn't you?
Yes. The fact is, I was very lonely out there, and last night at Fred's smoking room, I felt very down in the mouth at the thought of leaving England. And I thought.
Yes?
Yes, I felt.
Yes?
I thought if I could persuade some nice girl.
Yes?
I dreaded being out there alone.
Oh, how terrible for you. How absolutely awful. I think there's nothing more dreadful than the feeling of utter solitude and desolation that creeps over one when one is left alone for a very long time. What do you do in Argentina?
I'm developing a very large tract of land, cutting it up into farms. I farm one large tract myself.
Oh, what a perfectly sweet life. Oh, 3 years ago, we went for a month to a farmhouse in Wales, and I used to watch the girl milking the cows every evening. I asked her to let me try one evening, and she didn't understand a word of English, and I asked her to, then the cow got rather vicious, and then when I petted her dear little calf, she looked quite vicious, as if she was going to toss me. Not that I'm afraid of cows or of anything. In fact, I love danger of all kinds. I positively revel in danger. That's my one fault, if it is a fault. And there couldn't be a prettier dress to face dangers and hardships in than a Welsh girl's. I wonder if it would be possible to get a Welsh dress in Southampton. No, there isn't time, is there?
I'm afraid not.
What do the women generally wear in Argentina?
I haven't noticed.
Oh, but they must wear something. I do think it's so charming when the woman of a country adopts some distinctive national costume like the Tyrolese or the Welsh. I believe that some of the Tyrolese women have a costume that is really, well, it's really a masculine dress. I couldn't do that. I loathe masculine women. Oh, don't you?
Yes.
I think that when a woman goes out of her own proper sphere and tries to be a man, well, she doesn't succeed, does she?
No.
No, when a woman has so many attractions of her own, why should she go out of her own proper sphere and try to be a man? Why should she?
I don't know.
I think I shall introduce a national style of dress into Argentina. What are the shops like in Argentina?
There aren't any shops where I live.
Oh, no shops. Oh.
It takes 3 weeks to get to the nearest town.
Oh, how delightful. No shops. Oh, it must be quite the country.
They've made a mistake in the number of my cabin.
Oh, have they? Oh, how careless of them. I often ask people, how can people be so stupid? How do you account for there being so many stupid people in the world? Oh, What is the climate of Argentina? Is it very hot?
Rather, in the summer.
Oh, and I suppose the winters are rather cold. I'm so fond of the winter. I think there's nothing more delightful than to gather around the fire in a winter evening while the logs are crackling on the hearth and to tell ghost stories. I know one or two awfully good ghost stories. Do you know, at times I feel I must frighten people. I do. I can't help it. I feel positively wicked. I made a whole party sit up at the vicar's the other night. The bishop said I made him feel quite uncomfortable. The dear bishop. Oh, it was too bad of me to frighten him, wasn't it?
Yes,
Are you very fond of ghost stories?
not very.
Oh, then I shall tell you one. Not now, but one of these days I shall suddenly begin a creepy, creepy blood curdler that I reserve for all my special friends. And before you expect it, I shall make you positively shudder all over. Positively shudder. Now, don't say I didn't warn you.
I've got to change my ticket.
Oh, but really, I don't know if after all I don't prefer the summer. Oh, the delightful long evenings. But really, I can make myself happy and contented anywhere. Nothing ever puts me out. If things go wrong, I simply smile and say all the pleasantest things I can think of and wait until everything comes out right again. Oh, we didn't settle what dresses I ought to get. And then, of course, there are mother's dresses to think of as well as my own.
You have a mother?
Yes, didn't I tell you? I must have forgotten it. Oh, I wish you could have met her. Oh, but of course there will be plenty of opportunities, won't there? Oh, you will like her so much. Everybody says that I'm exactly what she was like when she was 25. I must tell you, mother is a rather gay old creature.
Indeed.
Oh, yes, I rather pride myself on my good temper and my constant flow of animal spirits. Don't you think I have a rather good supply of animal spirits?
Yes.
I'm nowhere beside mother. She's simply wonderful, always the life and soul of any company she's in. You've been rather dull and lonely out in Argentina, Fred tells me.
Not very.
Oh, nobody could be dull and lonely for one moment where mother is. What amusements are there in Argentina?
There aren't any amusements.
Oh, no amusements.
Not where I live.
Oh, well, mother is so fond of society and seeing everything and going everywhere and knowing everybody.
Argentina won't suit her at all.
Oh, but of course, if I went to Argentina, it would be impossible for me to leave my mother behind. I simply couldn't do it. Oh, she is such a dear, and always ready to make herself pleasant and agreeable wherever she is. And she has such a fund of anecdotes and recollections, and so witty and humorous. Oh, I love wit and humor in a woman, don't you?
Yes.
Oh, I'd far rather a woman were witty and humorous than merely beautiful, wouldn't you? Because beauty in itself soon fades. And when a woman has beauty and nothing else, well, it's like putting all the goods in the shop window, isn't it? And the moment she loses her good looks, poor creature, what is she? Oh, just a mere bit of faded finery to be thrown aside. Oh, I don't wonder that some men quickly tire of some women. Do you?
No.
No, nobody could tire of mother. And she's so ready at repartee. Oh, we had my Sunday school children to tea on our lawn, and we invited the new curate. And after tea, he took the garden broom and was sweeping up the litter where the children had made. Ah, my mother said, new brooms, sweep clean. Just like that. Oh, quite on the spur of the moment. New brooms, sweep clean. Oh, he was quite a new curate. And so she said, new brooms, sweep clean. You will like my mother. Is anything the matter?
No, I really must see about my ticket.
But you haven't,
I'd better get a course at once.
But yes, but Minnie said you particularly wished to see me.
I thought I should like to have the pleasure of saying goodbye.
Goodbye? But you sent for me to come from Southsea. I don't understand. Please explain.
I was agreeably impressed the other night at the ball, and I said so to Fred last night, and in his smoking room.
Yes, well?
And on the strength of that, Mrs. Bracy telegraphed.
Oh, yes, here's the telegram. Your whole future is at stake. Most important, you have an understanding with him before he sails. Read it.
I'm afraid Mrs. Bracy has been indiscreet.
Indiscreet? But you said you were agreeably impressed by me. Did you or did you not say that you were agreeably impressed by me?
At the ball, yes.
Yes, well, and that you would like to see me? Did you or did you not say you wished to see me?
Yes.
Yes, well, why did you wish to see me?
I thought we might begin a disinterested friendship.
Disinterested friendship? You couldn't suppose I should hurry over from Southsea for a disinterested friendship?
I'm very sorry if I have caused you any inconvenience.
Inconvenience? I haven't had any breakfast, and I have the most pressing invitation to the Berringers. They're quite the nicest people in Southsea. One meets everybody there. Instead of that, you bring me over here on the distinct understanding that you intended. I don't understand your conduct, Mr. Scobell. Will you please give me some explanation of it?
I must be getting to my boat.
Surely, Mr. Scobell, you will not dare to leave me in this terrible uncertainty. Before you go on board, we must please have a thorough understanding. Will you or will you not give me some explanation of your conduct?
But my boat sails. Will you kindly let me pass?
Oh, not that I should wish to force myself upon you. Please don't think that. Oh, I could never stoop to make myself cheap to any man. I'm not driven to that necessity. No, no, 1,000 times no. It's simply that my womanly pride and delicacy have been cruelly outraged. It's simply that I owe it to my sense of what is due an English lady not to be dragged over from Southsea without any breakfast and then made the sport of your caprice while you sail off to Argentina, utterly oblivious of your honor and of the woman whom you have entangled and deserted.
Take it easy, my dear lady. Take it easy.
Oh, dear lady, my dear lady, you first inveigle me here and then you insult me? Oh, if I had known, Mr. Scobell, surely you will not be so ungentlemanly, so unmanly. But there will come a time when you will vainly remember how recklessly you threw away the happiness that was still within your grasp. If you only choose to pick it up. Oh, what have I said? Oh, what have I said?
My dear Miss Hanslope, I'm terribly sorry.
You were truly sorry. You could do no less as a gentleman than make amends.
Will you please let me pass out?
Take the consequences.
Certainly.
Very well. Mr. Bracy will be here in a moment to demand a full explanation of your conduct.
I'll write him about it. Meantime, my lawyers are Beam and Son, Gray's Inn Square. If you have any claim against me, please put your solicitors in communication with them. Now, may I pass?
Oh, how could you suppose that I could degrade myself by making a market of my most sacred feelings and bringing them into a court of law? No! The injuries you have done me cannot be paid by money. You have wounded my finest feelings. You have trampled upon the very soul.
What's the matter?
Yes, I refuse you. In the first place, our slight acquaintance gave you no right whatsoever to make me an offer of marriage. And I'm sure the more I knew you, the less I should be inclined to accept you.
What's the matter?
I've never been so insulted in my life. How could you bring me over from South Sea only to be annoyed and insulted by this man?
Laurie? What has he done, Pat?
Oh, he has called me the most insulting names.
What names?
He said, take it easy, my dear lady. My dear lady, I've never been addressed in such a manner before. Minnie, here is your telegram. Now, I want you to both read it over carefully and say whether it doesn't amount to an offer of marriage. And then, before you allow him to sail to Argentina, I want you to ask him plainly whether he intends to carry out his promise, or... Where is he?
Laurie, we'd better clear this up, eh?
I'll write you fully. Goodbye, old fellow.
You'll stay and have lunch.
Haven't a moment. I must catch the boat. Goodbye, Mrs. Bracy.
Oh, goodbye. But can't you explain?
You surely won't let him leave this room without an explanation.
Take it easy, my dear lady. Take it easy.
You seem to have muddled it again, Pat.
It was all your fault and Minnie's for bringing me over. How could you suppose I should go over to a wretched country like Argentina where there aren't any shops? And after all the good offers I've refused, you might have had more consideration for me. And without a mouthful of breakfast.
Well, here's some lunch.
And the Berringers sent me such a pressing invitation to their croquet party. Ah, I shall just have time to get to South Sea.
Oh, well, you'd much better stay and have some lunch.
No, I can get some sandwiches somewhere. I must go. They'll expect me. I mustn't disappoint them. When does the next train start for South Sea? Oh, come and get me a cab and a Bradshaw at once, please. Oh, goodbye, Minnie. Goodbye, Fred. Your friend, Mr. Scobell, must be mad. Please, a cab and some sandwiches and my waterproof and an umbrella and a Bradshaw. Where are my gloves? Oh, is there anybody who could get me a cab and some biscuits? Oh, I never was so insulted. And a Bradshaw, do you hear? And a cab and some biscuits, anything to eat, and my gloves.
Easel Dorsey and the Right-Hand Man, a one-act play by Laura Lou Smith. Our story takes place in a rural area west of the city of Chicago. It's August in the 1950s. Scene 1, the 1.50.
lately, except pulling rusty nails out of a few old scraps of wood, sitting on this step here and listening to my Uncle Glover whine and complain about how my ingrate ma and pa up and discarded me into his stinking life. How his brother, who was also my ungrateful dead daddy, was cut down in his prime by the liquor bottle and a disappointed woman. That would be my ma. Actually, ma's right here, smack dab in the middle of page 3 of this scrapbook, standing behind the lunch counter of the old Comet Diner. I've been mooing over this memory book for nearly an entire week now. She's in there, staring dreamy, her thin hands folded, resting on a plastic container full of dirty coffee cups. Sometimes I gaze upon her image for hours, looking to see if maybe she was tired, or what kind of shoes she was wearing, or exactly where the little hand on the clock behind her is pointing to. But I cannot determine those details. Uncle Glover told me that a kind of magic lightning struck my daddy the first time he stepped up to the Comet's lunch counter and saw her leaning on the register, hand on hip, wearing a hair ribbon with a pattern of violets on it. Allegedly, Daddy told his brother that Ma was just shy of pretty, but her lips were full of invitation, whatever that means. The lightning hung around for a few years, but the magic didn't. Daddy feared it would reappear when he wasn't around, and whoever was sitting on the diner stool at that time would take her away from him. When that fear came to pass, I was shuffled off to Uncle Glover's for my well-being. Boy, I'd sure like to see Ma in the flesh, but only from across the street, and in complete quiet. No talking. That's that. Anyway, this afternoon, Uncle Glover has 3 of his solids stopping by for cards and socializing, and he made it mighty clear they don't need a hawk-nosed, goat-faced, stiff boy such as me wetting on the blanket of their fun. So he gave me a $1 bill and a 50-cent piece and told me to go out and find somebody else to torment. You delve to find yourself a pastime, goat-face. Go out and see the world, and don't come back till it's good and dark. I'm counting to 2, boy. 1, and I'm off. I lope along pretty good, considering my limp-flopping arms and my shallow moth wing wheezing. I am not athletic, but I have the 1.50, so I run flush with the freedom of fresh pocket change. I run down the hill through the flattened outskirts called the Bottoms, then up the gentle sloping runs called the Grade, and finally, I get to the opening called Happy Path. There in front of me are the barren, dusty bones of the Forest Preserve, the park the Potawatomi called Rock Boundary. Whew, need a breather. Check the 1.50. It's there, thank you, Lord. Yep, there's the bubblegum fortune Uncle Glover dropped when he pulled his hanky out after he shot the dog. It's all yellow now, and its testimony is faded, but I know it by heart. There is no time like the present.
Scene 2, The Right-Hand Man.
I'm Ransom Ball. I was answering nature's call over at the Black Angus Grill, thinking about my Dulcie's teasing farewell earlier that morning. 2 can't live off a cocktail waitress wage. That sore old subject, a job. Specifically my lack of one. Hell, I'd only been out a couple of months. Problem is, I'm suited to employment that's got freedom as its middle name. Truck driver, pulling the big rigs across the land, merchant marine, traveling sales. But you get a record attached to you early on, and not much favorable develops down the line. Then I see it, just as I step out into the dingy hallway, right there in front of me on the ratty community board. My future, tucked in tight next to the blood bank handouts. Help wanted, Chief's pony ride, 20 years at the same location. Pleasant work in the entertainment amusement industry. Must like animals, kids, and the outdoors. And here's the kicker. No reference is required. Call Chief Winter for details. So I called, and I met him that afternoon. Name is Ransom Ball. I like animals, kids, and the outdoors. Out of doors. Chief was a slight man, maybe 60. He'd had a dog act in vaudeville, secondary cities mostly, and he'd been a semi-professional ice skater in his youth. He was not what I expected at all. So this pony ride operation was sort of a retirement job for the worn-out old chief. It was located at the south end of the Rock Boundary Forest Preserve, right next to the Hazelton Ravine. Consisted of a faded, peeling, pointy roof shack, couple of stalls, 4 scraggly ponies, and a bay quarter horse named Alice. Well, he was looking for another kind of animal, a workhorse. A right-hand man, he called it. The duties would be feed, exercise, and care for the animals, maintain the stalls, keep the pony path free of debris, sweep the gravel parking lot, clean and repaint the signage, lift countless children up on ponies, lift countless children down off ponies, and of course take each ticket from the child and deposit it into a special tin can the chief devised for ticket collection. My understanding was that he would sit comfortably in the tiny wooden hut he had outfitted with a fan and a battery-operated radio, selling the tickets through a slot and keeping his eye on things. Then he would spend his evenings making sure the number of tickets sold corresponded with the exact number of dimes taken in. If there were any discrepancies in that sum, immediate dismissal would follow. Frequent turnover in the right-hand man department, I would imagine. But here's the thing about this job. That quarter horse I mentioned, Alice, well, her job is escorting all the young pony riders, and she needs a rider. Now, who do you think that might be? What an opportunity. The first time I took Alice out for a trial go-around, I felt something like an electric heater lighting up my chest. I was in. Well, when business was slow, we'd cheat each other at rummy, and the chief would rattle on about life on the road with the dogs and how little poodle Jasmine jumped to and fro through a ring of fire just a few inches bigger than she was. I played along. And after a while, the chief started battling a chest congestion, coughing and hacking like he had TB or something. One afternoon, as I was spooning some Campbell's soup into his gullet, he sprang something crazy on me. "I'll not see the spring rain, son. Guess you signed on for more than you bargained for. Them equines are my family. I don't have a living soul of the 2-legged variety. Ransom, I would very much like you to have the pony ride. Will you take it on, son? It'd sure be a load off this sick old prisoner." This development was about as likely as sitting down to a beer with little green men from Mars. One Sunday, as the sun faded, dusky purples streaked the western sky, they carted the chief over to the Martha Washington Hospital on the IP road, where gentle mistresses of temperance applied the 12 steps to a once-a-day man who only had a couple days left. He scribbled me some notes about the pony's exercise and Alice's special diet, even a scrawl designed for a shiny lighted sign out by the main road. By the time the spring rains came, the transaction was complete. I owned something more than just the clothes on my aching back.
Scene 3. The Tinkety Tink.
There is no time like the present. And then I start hearing a little tune from far off, like a tinkety-tink music, a tiny melody. And then, oh boy, I feel something silky, warm from behind. And then there is steam and heavy breathing on the back of my neck and a snorting sound. Everything's going real slow now, and I go down on one knee with my head in my sweaty hands. There's some kind of hobgoblin on the back of my neck. I flop to my belly, burying my face in the dirt, counting my blessings and prepping for purgatory.
Alice, stop kissing that old boy before he has a heart attack and croaks on the property. Now go back and get on your feed bag, sister. Name is Ransom Ball. That was my equine Alice nudging you a love pat from behind. I believe she did no worldly damage to you, boy. She's been troubled with a stomach upset lately, so I'm not going to discipline her for giving you a scare. Come on, boy, get up and dust yourself off. This little brown patch of God's green earth is my place of business. Chief's Pony Rides.
I am Easel Dorsey.
Good to have you here, Easel. Haven't had a visitor in more than 2 days now. Ever since they put the new road, people are forgetting us, even the regulars. Nope, not drawing like we used to. Uh-huh. Where are you off to this fine day, Easel?
Diner.
Not much for words, are you, partner? Well, let me give you the lay of the land around here. You already got a history with Alice. She thinks she's the queen bee of this domain. Well, then we got Tooper and Bushman, two of Chief's decrepit old ponies still hanging on. You'll like Bushman. He's as black as the bottom of my boot sole, just like that African gorilla up in Brookfield he's named for. Gentle as a lamb, old Bushman. Tooper's more temperamental. Then last year when the cash was rolling in, I picked up Taffy and Junior from an old boy I knew down in Joliet. He needed a wad and did not need two ponies. How he ever came to own them, I cannot imagine. It was darn lucky for me, because those two can surely handle the roughhouse kids.
I'd like to sit down for a bit.
Ooh, must be an emergency. Finally got more than 2 words out of you. Sit down here. Put your head between your legs. Let me see what's cooking in my Frigidaire. Dulcie usually makes me a packed lunch, but she was fooling around this AM making herself an experimental energy drink. She ran out of energy and I ran out of the house.
Ransom heads off to his shack, and Easel now seated with his head hanging down.
I'm seeing dry bits of leaf caught in spider webs underneath the bench, rounds of white chalky mold, ants running in and out of the flaking point. Ooh, the world's spinning.
There's half a bear claw left. You want it?
No, thank you.
Coca-Cola then. Put a little rum in it. That should revive you. That is one thing I sure yearn for in Jolie. A refreshing rum and Coca-Cola. Nothing quite like it on a hot summer's day.
Easel is still bent over, but with his head up towards the audience.
And at that very moment, I saw something pink and shiny with my upside-down eyes. Looked like a tiny plastic sailboat with teeth on its back and a sharp, wiry clasp. I shoved it into my pocket fast and proceeded to dig the wiry part right under my thumbnail until blood came.
Easel pulls himself upright, quickly shoving the shiny object into his pocket. Ransom comes back to center with a mug and a little bottle of dark liquid. He pours a fair amount of the liquid into the mug and puts it down beside Easel, then puts the bottle in his back pants pocket.
Gotta quit these things. I got a method, though. I only smoke one half at a time. Then I put it out. Second half is never satisfying. Tastes like smoking hair. So I never finish it. Figure I'm cutting down mightily that way.
Jolie's a big jail. I heard of it.
Yep, it's big, all right. Big, mean city behind bars. Meeting in the south side on a Saturday night. Men from all walks of life crowded in close, just sitting around, crammed tight like fish in a tiny tin box. Men waiting for their old maid sister to bring the 3-berry cobbler. Waiting for a picture postcard from Springfield where the girl at the parade went home to after the incident. Waiting for nothing.
Ransom swipes his hand on his cheek in search of an attacking gnat. He quickly socks the gnat in the air and suddenly catches the critter between his hands with a resounding swat. Easel is startled and then, attacked by the same type of critter, flips his hand a couple of times by his ear hole. Ransom searches his pockets for a match. Easel watches him closely, his bottom lip hanging loose and slippery.
What's the face for, son? Never seen a jailbird before? Better shut your flappers now, because if you freeze up like that, I can warranty you your life will be more of a hell than it surely is right now. Old Warden Fitzpatrick would asylamize you immediately with a mug like that.
Did you, did you,
Easel's digging his hand into his back pocket, pushing the wiry bit of plastic under his thumbnail.
I am seeing the world now.
Did I kill somebody? Is that what you're thinking, son? Is that what's got your mouth all twisted up like some kind of sideshow idiot?
Ransom strikes a match into the flame off of his boot sole and lights the stub in a swift move.
You see violence in me, son? Watch this.
He drags the nicotine dry, crushes what's left of the cigarette between his palms, pops it into his mouth, and swallows. Ransom does a little pivot turn and bows to Easel.
This next part gets a little fuzzy. Time seemed to slow down. I know I pulled my hand out of my pocket, involuntarily like, and then that darn little piece of pink plastic I was hoping to save in my ditty box under my bed, that darn thing went flying out and plunked right down on the tip of one of Ransom's mud-covered pointy boots.
Ooh-wee, what you got there, Easel? Oh, I know what this is. This is a pretty little girl's thing. This is for a pretty little girl's hairdo, to hold a pretty little girl's hairdo in place so you can see her pretty little face. Isn't that what this is, Easel? Huh. It's got some grass in it, some old muckety muck stuck to it. Wonder how that happened. Eh, Easel? Now, wait a second, son. I think we got company, Easel. Hey there. Maybe we got ourselves some customers.
Ransom tosses the pink shiny thing on Easel's lap.
You'd best take this bauble back, Easel. What do you say? That pretty little gal you stole it off just might come a-calling on you. If she can still come a-calling.
Easel is fixated on the pink shiny thing. Ransom reaches down and puts the mug in Easel's hand.
Drink up, Easel. Yes, sir, boy.
Ransom takes the bottle out, drains it, and returns it to his back pocket.
We just might have ourselves some customers.
The setting is on the deck of the Staten Island Ferry, perhaps a railing or a bench. The time is late morning. While traveling to New York City on the ferry, Ashley's future is foretold. Jean and Ashley are leaning over a railing on a ferry headed to New York City.
It's so calm today. What are you thinking about? You've been far away all day.
Nothing.
How's Nate?
We broke up.
When? I'm so sorry. Why didn't you tell me?
It's nothing. I broke up with him.
But you were crazy about him.
Was.
What happened?
You didn't like him. Why do you care?
I care about you. I want you to be happy.
Yeah, well, apparently he didn't want me to be happy.
What did he do?
Nothing.
So? Why?
Nothing. He did nothing. Ever. I finally got tired of going to his place, having sex, eating takeout, and watching TV.
I'm going to forget about the having sex part.
Really, Mom? Really? What did you think I was doing in the city all that time?
I don't know. Not that.
Come on, women of the 70s, hippies and all that.
It's just hard thinking about your daughter that way.
Would you rather I was neutered or gay? Gay people have sex too, you know.
I'm a little uncomfortable right now.
Mom, I've read all about the 70s. People think it was the 60s, but the real freedoms came in the early 70s. Free love, flower power. You can't tell me you were a virgin when you married Daddy.
Well, almost.
How is someone almost a virgin?
We didn't go all the way.
You're telling me that you and Daddy didn't have sex until your wedding night?
Pretty much. You're making me very uncomfortable.
Good.
Crack of thunder, flickering of light, and a good-looking young man appears at the rail. He listens to the two women.
What the hell was that?
Stay calm, Ma. The water didn't even ripple.
You need to find a nice man.
How did we change the subject so fast?
I mean it. You're getting past your prime.
Are you suddenly Jewish? You sound like a Jewish mother.
I want you to be happy.
Definitely a Jewish mother.
Where do you get your ideas? I'm only trying to
Drop
tell
it,
you
Ma.
Look at him. He looks nice.
You are unbelievable. Maybe I should introduce myself, ask if he's single.
Couldn't hurt.
Ma!
You know what? I'll do it.
Don't you dare.
Hi, I'm Jean. Are you single?
Pay no attention. She has Alzheimer's.
No, I don't. I have an unmarried daughter, though.
Please excuse her. She's in the early stages. We never know what she'll say.
This is the best pickup I've ever had. Smooth.
I'm sorry to bother you.
No bother. I think you're funny.
He's adorable. Keep him talking.
Ma, he heard that.
I did.
Well, good. I'll just move over here so you can talk. Don't mind me.
Oh my God, no one would believe this. I am so sorry to bother you.
No worries. Wait, do you always make excuses for your mother?
When she goes crazy, you never know with her.
Exciting life then.
Hardly.
Are you going to the city on business?
If you can call it that. My brother's getting married and she needs a dress. We don't want her in a plaid jumpsuit, so I'm the vetting committee. You?
Oh, my cousin is getting married and I'm getting fitted for a tux.
Ask him who's the bride.
Ma!
Maybe we know her.
In New York City.
Could happen.
Her name is Marcy Klein.
That's our bride. I knew it. I felt it.
What, Ma? What did you know?
As soon as I saw him, I knew you'd be together.
What the?
She's already marrying us off.
I'm so sorry. Maybe I was right about the dementia.
Going to be in a wedding together.
Oh, a bridesmaid?
For the third time. You know what they say.
Maybe third time's good luck.
From your lips to God's ears.
Ma, did you convert?
What?
What's with all these sayings all of a sudden?
Are you Jewish?
No.
She could convert.
Ma!
I'm not Jewish. You won't need to convert.
Better and better.
But why don't you come over here to join us so you don't have to shout?
Please don't encourage her.
You heard him. So, do you know my son? Wonderful young man.
Ma, he's 42.
We haven't met yet, but my aunt is crazy about him.
Of course he is. He's my boy. So, how old are you?
29.
That's not too bad.
What? Are you interested in me?
As a son-in-law.
Okay, Ma, let's go get some coffee.
You leaving me on my own?
You want coffee?
No.
Me neither. You'll be sorry if you let him go.
Do you even hear yourself?
She's right. You'll be sorry.
I told you.
Let me warn you, this attitude of hers wears thin very quickly.
I can see where you get your sense of humor from.
See? He thinks I'm funny.
Like a funeral you are.
So, what do you do?
Ma, that's too much.
I don't mind. Might as well get it over.
What do you mean?
Well, if we go on a date in the city, won't you want to know every detail?
You're asking her out?
How can he get a word in? Maybe you should go out with him.
Today's as good a day as any, right?
So ask her.
I don't even know her name.
Her name is
Ashley. Ashley Ford.
Kurt Miller.
I thought you said you weren't Jewish. Miller?
German, Lutheran.
Perfect.
An attractive woman appears.
There you are, sweetie. I've been looking all over for you.
Who are you?
What a greeting. Did you insult her, Kurt?
I don't think so.
Sorry, my mother's in a snit today.
I wasn't until she showed up.
What did I do?
I had everything worked out and then you ruined it, which is ridiculous because she's much too old for him.
I heard that.
I'm really sorry. She's always been, well, aggressive, but this is inexcusable. I'll see you at the wedding.
Wedding?
I'm not.
This gets better and better.
Does her mother have dementia?
We discussed the possibility earlier, but I don't think so, no.
Ha, see?
Okay, Ma, we need to go.
We're on a boat. Where can we go?
It's a ferry. Let's go.
I'm not leaving him. He was going to ask you out.
What?
And you ruined it.
He's my fiance.
I am going to faint. This is not fair.
Fair or not fair, let's go. I'm sorry to have bothered you.
I'm a pediatrician, Colgate, then Dartmouth. I work out, I drive an Audi, I want to have kids.
Why would you do this? I gave you a perfectly good excuse to get away.
Because I like her. She's funny, she's polite, and she's very sexy.
Oh, he thinks you're sexy.
I heard him, Ma, but maybe not so reliable.
I'm very reliable.
You dump your fiance right in front of me. I don't think so.
She's not my fiance.
Well, then what is this?
She flashes a big diamond on her hand.
Don't, Lolly.
Yeah, let him make up his own mind.
Wait, stop. We haven't been properly introduced. This is Lolly, my sister, my older sister.
Nice catch, but no.
Tell them, Lolly.
Are you sure?
Very.
I'm his sister, but only older by a year.
Looks like more.
Ma!
What's your name?
Jean with a J.
Well, Jean with a J, why don't you and I go get some coffee so the apparent lovebirds can talk?
I didn't think I liked you, but I like you.
Kurt, be on your guard. You know what they say about daughters turning into their mothers.
Lolly and Jean start to exit.
She should be so lucky. So let me tell you, she went to Vassar, then Yale, works for a big bank, very important job, drives an Acura, wants kids desperately. Wait there, you two.
Kurt and Ashley smile at each other as lights flicker and thunder is heard. They disappear into the dark. End of play.
I hear you crying from 3 floors up. And it's a day and seat back with your cheeks all flushed. Too far gone, what the world does. Thinking back what the windows touch.